Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I am thrilled to share the trailer for our new Peacock original series, Ted, telling the story of Ted and John's early days. Let's take a look.
Hey, Johnny. How bad is school gonna suck?
You're not gonna like it.
How bad?
Well, it's like getting your nuts smashed together so hard they become just one nut.
Holy sh**.
You should be going to school every day with John.
No, thanks.
You might have fun.
No, I would not have fun. I guard the house when you guys are out.
What happened to the TV?
It was an accident.
You're going to school and you're gonna grow a brain.
Oh, come on!
Hey, dog, you bringing your dolls to school?
It's the 90s. Times are changing.
Sexual education. Let's start with masturbation.
If you're going to assign homework, Johnny already did it this morning.
Shut the up, dude.
I haven't smoked, I haven't had sex, I haven't had a girlfriend. I'm gonna lose it.
You and me have been best friends like our whole lives. We're about to get high for the first time. Can we have drugs, please? Let's do this right. Oh, man.
Can you guys believe we're like having an experience and experiencing reality?
Is there a gas leak or something?
Nice costume, face.
It's possible that the two of you might not be total screw-ups.
Take a long look. This is what life is.
Teddy, I'm the last virgin in school.
We can fix this. We gotta find a buyer. Fresh penis! Get your fresh penis here!
Jesus Christ!
Still has that new penis smell.
You shut up!
All right, I'm just trying to help.
Hey, dude. Pretty wicked, awesome movie trailer, huh? Well, it's a TV trailer. What you gonna do? I'm pretty excited. Oh, excuse me, you guys. Had a little Bostonian in my throat. How is the stream coming along? On my end, it's buffering a little bit. Is that happening for you guys as well? John Smith said, kid does a great Marky Mark impression. That he does. Say hello to your mother for me. Good old Marky Mark. John Bennett is the character's name. We have Ted. We have Maddie Bennett, played by Scott Grimes. Blair Bennett, the sister, played by Georgia Wiggum from the Orville. We have the mom, played by Alana Ubach, not from the Orville. I do have a little bit more Orville announcements as far as cast wise for this show. Penny Johnson Gerald, who you might know as Dr. Finn, is also on the show. She plays Ted's principal over at the high school. Yeah, it looks like Ted and John are going to high school together. It looks like it's time for Ted to get out of the house and join the rest of the world. But he's just a teenager himself. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the currently demonetized EGOTASTIC FUNTIME garbage fire that is this channel. And garbage fire is only because it seems that's what YouTube thinks of this channel. And a lot of other channels, it seems. A lot of people are getting demonetized right now. What's up with that? Algorithms? What's up, John Smith, Mr. Tommy Pickles, Jared or Gerard? I don't know which one it is, but it's so glad to have you here. Archmage Frey, Margot B, Mark Lawrence, howdy, and so many more are filing in right now, as I can see on my live stream analytics. We're all Thunder Buddies. We have the new Ted series to bring us all back together for a little while. A little bit of a palate cleanser for we Orvillians. It's kind of nice. There's a lot of Orville people involved in this show, and the Orville fandom is now involved with this show. Many of us are looking forward to this. January 11th, 2 months from now? I looked it up. Guess what day the series premieres on? Now it's going to be all 7 episodes dropped all at once. So on the 11th, which is a Thursday, which is Orville Day. I guess it's going to be Ted Day for at the beginning of 2024. All episodes dropped at once, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about on that day, and plenty to talk about up to that day as well, as we're all Thunder buddies. Archmage says, "Damn, just missed my birthday." Roberta Laverty, how's it going? Hi, JP from Lowestoft, UK. Good to see you, Roberta. Always good to see you. I hope everything's going well over there in the UK. I hope you have okay weather. Not too gray, not too rainy. It's gray and rainy over here where I'm at today. I was doing, to try to keep the lights on here. I have to work all day, every day. Daylight hours is what I'm referring to. It's a rainy day schedule. Kind of dangerous to drive around on rainy day schedule. I'm like, well, I'm coming home. I'm getting my little tush into this studio. We're gonna do a live show, chat, lots to chat about with the new Ted series dropping 2 trailers. Now I did play 1 trailer, the Red Band trailer, which I re-edited to be a little bit safer for the YouTube algorithm. Don't need to get extra canceled by YouTube. And then I have another trailer, which is already clean. I watched that. Also in the news yesterday, was it yesterday, day before yesterday? Horrible timing, by the way. Adrian Palicki, Kelly Grayson from the Orville, had some disgruntled words on a podcast talking about the Orville. Doesn't seem right to me. I put a whole 15-minute video up about it over on the Patreon page. Some great conversation there as well. Kind of mad at Adrian. She seems out of place to be talking smack without context. At least the clip that's been going around had no context. So a lot of people are freaking out because they forget the state of the world during season 3 filming of the Orville. Not 10 episodes, 10 mini movies. Over a year of actual just filming, besides having to take a 1.5-year break. But we'll get to that later as well. Roberta says, no, it's cold and keeps threatening to snow. Say it's not true with the snow. Not had any yet, though. Both trailers are hilarious. I am so looking forward to the series, as am I. I was wondering how they were going to go about it. Before seeing any footage or anything, I was wondering, is it going to be like before a live studio audience? Well, at least made it look like in front of a live studio audience type of sitcom. That would have been fun, but it's not. It's like a full-on single camera show with a lot of effects to make Ted come to life. And doesn't Ted look amazing? Ted looks like he's really there. The animation style, facial expressions. Yes, a teddy bear with facial expressions. It's the humor, exactly what I'm looking for. Kind of makes me want A Million Ways to Die in the West series on Peacock as well. That would be a lot of fun. I love that universe as well. The Fuzzyverse is what I'm calling all these shows. The Orville, Ted. If they do a Million Ways to Die in the West a series, that would be great. The Fuzzyverse, of course, referring to Fuzzy Door, Seth's production company. I've had my own interactions with Fuzzy Door. A lot of great people over there doing great work. The more Seth, well, of course, we want Seth to get some free time eventually to come back and do season 4 of the Orville, which from what it seems is still on the table. Is still, we're still got an announcement. Of course, right now is a bad time because they're having to promote the Ted series. But just yesterday, after this whole Adrian Palicki thing happened, Tom Constantino, when asked about the future of the Orville, he said, "Keep the faith," which means good things. It doesn't mean bad things. It also means hold up. We got a lot. We got a lot on the playing field right now. The players are they have to play the game. They have to get through the different quarters or whatever sports terms you want to use for sports ball. Getting a home run score. Archmage Frey, it's a good video, more insightful than many other people who covered it. Yeah, nobody's covering it. They're making up their own assumptions on her attitude. She apparently is disgruntled about how long it takes to make a season. She's under the impression that there's a million jobs out there waiting for her. Of course, the year and a half that it took to wait to continue making season 3 of the Orville, there was no work. There's no work for anyone. So that was not talked about. I have that video up for us to watch as well, and we can break it down from there. Archmage Frey, and glad to see that Tom posted a bit of hope in the response to it. Also, Jay Lee, you know, John Lamar, Jay Lee, he kind of had a, I mean, he's not, not that I saw that he's going out and writing it much, but I've been writing stuff. I've been having a little bit of cheeky fun about it. I said, you know, season 4, what does Ed do when he loses Kelly? You know, something like that, making kind of light of, oh, season 4 is not going to have a Kelly. Ed loses her, let's kill her off, and that'd be a great storyline. He liked that post. I made a couple other jokey references to what she said, and he liked all those posts as well. So maybe my posts are giving him a little cathartic way of expressing himself. When asked about having to eat saltines and Gatorade because they weren't making much money or something like that, he said, no, my belly's full, and I'm very much looking forward to going back to space. So it seems like, you know, Adrian had something made her disgruntled, but that doesn't seem to be the case for everyone else that works on the show. Archmage Frey talking to Robin. Don't know if you are a Psych fan. If you're not, you should be. Fun show. But there's a third movie that's a Peacock exclusive on there. Yes, there is. I can't remember the name of the Peacock exclusive one. Was it I Am Gus, or He Is Gus, or We Are Gus, something like that. Peacock's got a lot of stuff on it. I love Peacock. Just recently, on a couple days ago, because of all the internet deals, all the Black Friday deals, and all these streaming services who are trying to not go broke. Peacock had a great deal, $2.99 a month for 12 months. That's an incredible deal, because Peacock is what I watch the most. It's got all the shows that I want to watch. Doesn't have the Orville. I would love it if it did. But I think the Orville is probably sticking with Disney. But we'll see. Bob Iger did just recently say that Disney Plus is needing to concentrate more on quality over quantity, which I totally agree. Guess what quality is? The Orville is quality. So that's another good sign in my book, though I don't need any good signs. I already know it's going to happen. It's just going to take a while. I think a pretty long while. Yesterday I posted, and Jay Lee also liked this post that I put up. I said, I'm considering seasons 1 through 3 of the Orville to be phase 1, which means we got to have a phase 2 and a phase 3. I don't know if we get a phase 4. We'll see how it goes after 9 seasons. Where's the Red Band trailer? I only saw one. Well, there's a Red Band trailer, which I just played at the beginning of this stream, and then there's the regular trailer. Both have different scenes in them, so you get a lot more. This is Gus, based on This Is Gus. This Is Us. Yeah, that makes that's what it is. Archmage Frey. Yeah, there's the Red Band and the regular band, the green band, I guess you would call it. But it's all over. Both of them are all over the interwebs right now. I'm always on Twitter, so I've seen it all over Twitter. The Red Band one is the one that has an introduction by Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane says some great things, and then cussing galore for the rest of the trailer. It's a lot of fun. Brian Dawkins says, I'm glad to hear Jay Lee isn't living in poverty. No, Jay Lee, and he talked about this year or two ago on Twitter. He made some posts. You know, people were kind of on him for making this decision, but he put all of his Orville money into producing and directing and starring in his own film, Atypical Wednesday, which many of you have seen. It's a great film. He did a great job. It's a lot of fun. A couple of familiar faces in that movie as well. But no, that's what he did. He's a doer. He gets things done. He's a mover and a shaker. So he took all his money and put it towards his film, which seems like that's why he was short on cash for a little while before returns started coming back in. But that wasn't talked about in the video. Oh, Seth MacFarlane was on The View this morning. Yeah, I don't have regular live television. Haven't in 14 or 15 years at this point. But I'll have to check that out at some point when I get time. Finding time is really tough. I'm always out there on the streets. That sounded weird. Driving around trying to make anything to help keep the lights on in the studio. It's getting harder and harder. Is that available for a watch party? I looked over on Twitch. TED is not available for a watch party, if that's what you're talking about. I have to figure something else out. But the next watch party, I haven't scheduled it yet, but in my brain, the next Twitch watch party is going to be Masters of the Universe this Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time. So noon on Saturday on the EGOTASTIC FUNTIME Twitch channel, link in the description of this video, we're going to be watching Masters of the Universe. And if you have Amazon Prime, which most people do, and don't watch anything on it because you forget that there's things to watch on Amazon, we're going to be watching Masters of the Universe, which they claim is broadly available, which means it should be available in most markets. So if you come to my channel and you have your Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch page, the movie should just play right there for you. And you'll have a video of me. You'll have the video of the movie. You can do whatever you want to those videos. You can turn my volume up. You can turn it down. You can turn the movie up. Different size screens. It's all a great time. And I haven't seen that movie in decades. So I'm very, very interested to see what's going on in the old school He-Man movie. Is there a YouTube of The View? There might very well be. They're pretty quick at that stuff these days. Oh, we gotta get it on the YouTube. Yeah, Brian Dawkins. I also like that Ted is the king of the wieners. I'm the king of the wieners. It looks like at some point Ted is trying to get kicked out of school because he doesn't like school. And he doesn't have to go to school if he doesn't want to. He doesn't, does he? He's only going to school because Scott Grimes' character said, you're going to school, you're getting out of the house, and you're going to learn some stuff. I guess he's tired of Ted's antics. Echo January 10. Ted, January 11th. What a week. Oh, the show Echo. Yes. I have a hard time saying that word out loud because I have a robot by that name. Echo, stop. You probably couldn't hear her, but because the way I have the mic set up. But she goes off if I say her name. I hear that rich friends can really bring you down. Someone else said that on Twitter today as a joke. No, they said you have to be nice to rich people because someday you're going to be rich, right? Robin says, hi, JP. I signed up for Peacock, and so far I'm loving it. 2 great TV specials, one including Seth singing. Peacock is working well for me so far. Ted looks like a wild bit of fun. That it does. I agree with you. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you're a Seth MacFarlane fan, Seth is an employee of Peacock. They signed him on a couple years ago with a great big deal. That's why he's putting the Ted series on Peacock, and he does other specials for Peacock. Also, I think I'll have to double check because there's so many streaming services now. It's hard to remember where you saw what thing you wanted to see. I think A Million Ways to Die in the West is now available on Peacock. That new, you know what just came out on Peacock? Peacock's got a lot of great new movies. that new Exorcist movie where there's 2 Exorcist girls, that just showed up. A little too late for me. I don't know if I'm in the mood to be scared. I'm too busy right now at this time of the year watching the new Santa Claus series, The Santa Clauses, which so far I saw 2 episodes. Good holiday fun. I don't know if anyone would want to watch it any other time of the year, but this time of the year, people allow for a little bit more family corniness. So I'm enjoying the Santa Clauses season 2 on Disney Plus. LGL Studio says, since Seth is out promoting again, do you think you can get him back on the show again, or Scott? I might be able to. I'm hoping, and that's why I just started now that it's been announced and there's things to see and answers to be given to questions. The TED series, I'm starting to cover it on this channel, even though this channel's demonetized. I shouldn't be putting anything out on YouTube. I just started promoting the TED series, and I'm going to be doing that in the interim until we get the new TED series. So maybe, since we're kind of pals a little bit, and maybe he'll let me, just like he did with the Orville in season 3, maybe he'll let me be part of the promotional stuff that's going on for TED, interviewing the cast and the crew and things like that. I'm hoping to be put on a list. Maybe I'll put some feelers out, make some statements, send them a thing saying, hey, I would love to be on the promotion list for the TED series. Well, Peacock is Universal service, and Universal distributed TED and Million Ways, so makes sense. I just wish Peacock had everything that I want to watch on it. I don't need all these streaming services. Peacock is perfect. Perfect for me. Perfect little Peacock. That sounded really dirty, but it's got all the old shows that I like and the new shows that I like. Yes, Peacock has really stepped up its game. I mean, they're definite contender in the world of streaming today. And for those who are wondering, TED will be available internationally. You don't have to have Peacock to watch it. Scott Grimes fans page posted this here. Let me read it. Besides on Peacock, you can watch the TED series on Sky. You can watch it on Now. I don't know what that is. You can watch it on Stack TV. I don't know what that is. And you can watch it on Showcase. And I'm sure there's more services that will be carrying the series as well. It's not just going to be in the USA type of thing. The world just doesn't work that way anymore, at least not in Seth MacFarlane's world. You know, in his world, there's a whole world. It's round. Well, sometimes it's flat, depending on who you talk to, but it's round and it goes all around the world. You're going to be seeing TED no matter where you are. DJ129, what are you most excited to see with the TED series? With the TED series, for me, with my taste, it's the wacky hijinks. It's the jokes. Of course, the TED series it's nice to see Seth dip his toes right back into a hardcore comedy, which of course TED is, a raunchy comedy, which is my favorite type of comedy. And we all like teddy bears, I would think. The jokes. I'm looking for the jokes. Why you guys walking around dressed like Star Wars? It's Comic-Con, you idiot. We're headed to the Javits Center. Yeah, so for me, it's the jokes and it's the familiar faces. And I'm actually very much interested to see the changes made to the overall tone of the TED series. That because Seth's lived his life. He's grown older and wiser. Different types of humor or evolved humor. I'd like to see if any of those changes have made it into the TED series. I think it will. The scene when Scott Grimes is bent over and the wife is taking care of something on his butt, a sore or something, or a cut or some sort of damage. and he looks at Ted and the kid, and he says, take a good look. This is what life is. Something like that. Me as an old, now that I'm older, that type of joke is a lot funnier than it would have been a long time ago. Roberta Laverty, Seth did the light switch on the Rockefeller Center last night. Yes, him and oh, I know her name. Why am I? Gillies is her last name. I can't remember her first name. They sing together. They have a new Christmas album together, her and Seth. Liz Gillies, Elizabeth Gillies, who, by the way, played the multiphasic alien in episode 3 of season 3, Mortality Paradox. That was Liz, but she also sings with Seth. They have albums. She was performing last night at the Rockefeller Center during the lighting. Okay, Brian Dawkins, Slack TV and Showcase are in Canada. Well, you're watching Ted, my friend. Roberta Laverty, and on Now TV. When do we want it? Now. DJ129, for me, I have no idea what to expect. Ted 2 was not that well received, so it's interesting to see it come back. Well, a lot of people don't know, because why would you? Ted 1 and Ted 2 made a lot of money around the world. A lot. They're actually pretty big worldwide. Yes, I prefer Ted 1 over Ted 2 as well. It's hard to know if something is well received money-wise, well received review-wise, critic-wise. I can never trust that, because critics are all just trying to, looking for clickbait, looking for something to get those clicks. So hating on things and hating on sequels is easy to do. And so I don't trust any reviews. I don't trust any critics. Everyone's different. Everyone's in a different mood, had a different type of day. But yeah, I would assume maybe Ted 2 didn't make as much money as Ted 1. Such a great idea, the Ted universe. A boy wishes his teddy bear is real, and it happens, and then they grow up to be, Bostonians and townies. A lot of fun. I love those ideas that we've all had in our lives. Oh, what if my teddy bear is real? It's basically Winnie the Pooh on steroids, or on weed in this situation. I had everyone's always thought of, oh, what if I could relive my life knowing everything I know now? A long time ago, I wrote a screenplay called Born Again Chris, which is a guy named Chris, full name Christian, who dies and is reborn, knowing everything he knows. And as an audience, we see him as the adult, but he's a baby to, different ages. We go through all the way to the point where it's back to the moment where he died the second time around. Peacock have a massive win this year with Five Nights at Freddy's. Universal in general, mainly with Mario. Yeah, Peacock had the Mario movie pretty damn quick. It had Five Nights at Freddy's the same day that it came out in the movie theaters. It had Champions. It has Strays, which was a great one. A couple of other movies that I'm not remembering right now. It's got a lot of new movies, but it's also got, The Office. A really good thing? If you're an Office fan, Peacock has the Office fan episodes. So far, they have the first 6 seasons, but they're going to do all the seasons. They used to come out with a new season every year. The fan episodes of The Office, which all have an additional 10 minutes of footage re-edited into the episodes. I loved those. I watched the heck out of those. Also, Peacock, I believe, has Resident Alien. Robin talking about Liz Gillies. She's the alien. That's awesome. She promised to return. Rewatch the episode. Yeah, there was a little smug little comment by her, wasn't there? Would love to see. Doesn't even necessarily have to be that individual alien, but someone from the multiphasic universe. I would love to see that again. Of course, I really want to see Priya again. I think Priya is ripe for a return. It was kind of alluded to in that episode, Priya, in season 1, that we could see her again as well. So I'd love it if they do that. When I talked to Rena Owen, who plays Havina, besides calling Seth MacFarlane a prophetic genius, which I have to agree when it comes to writing these stories, she said in a 4th season, they will definitely have to have huge guest stars because the work is so good, the writing is so good, the execution of the show on screen is so good. Actors want to do good work, and the Orville is really damn good work. So she's betting people are going to be knocking on Seth MacFarlane's door. Please let me be in an episode of the Orville. And who knows, maybe we'll have some room in the cast for some really great guest stars. John Smith, sequels and superheroes. That's pretty much makes all critics S-word lists now. Yeah, it does. Now some of it I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of sequels and a lot of superheroes, but most of them aren't the crap that these reviewers, these critics, dudes who started a YouTube channel like me, and they're angry at the world, which a lot of people are nowadays. Thank you, algorithms. Yeah, everything's on a S-word list because clicks. Most things aren't even worth being mad about. They're just not. There's too many serious things going on across this entire universe. Be mad at a TV show because it didn't change your life the way you demanded it did. So you never find me complaining about stuff, entertainment, that much, because it's not important to complain. But it is important to find fellowship, good, positive fellowship that could really improve your life around something fun like the Orville or the Ted series or Naked Attraction, which I started watching the other day on Max. There's a show called Naked Attraction. I'm like, what is this? I like the word naked. It's a dating game show where people are fully nude, and they're picking the person they want to go on a date with just from looking at their bits. Now I'm talking lots of bits. First round, you're looking at the lower bits, zoomed in and everything, and then it raises up a little bit. Oh my gosh, that might be a human behind the screen. And then you finally get to the faces. It's fun. I don't like all the bits. It's very clinical, and nobody's a model. Everyone's very normal, regular looking people, which I guess is a positive. But it's kind of weird to see normal people buck nude on television, zooming in. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. Watch it if you don't mind the bits. I thought it was interesting at first. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of looking at people's bits. I'm glad that nothing's impressive. I don't feel bad watching it, but it's weird. Your option, I'm assuming maybe opinion of first Doctor Who special. I loved it. I thought it was great. David Tennant, you can't go wrong. For me, even though I personally started when it comes to being a hardcore watcher of the Who with Eccleston, when Tennant arrived, I'm like, this is my Doctor Who. Great to see him. He's for me, he's the one and only, even though I've loved the other Doctors, just not as much as I love Tennant. Donna, love Donna. I love that the story was simple. It's very traditional Doctor Who. Bad alien. We gotta figure out what to do with this bad alien. Oh, we figured it out. Okay, let's go on an adventure. Oh, there's gonna be another bad alien next place we land, I bet. So far, loving it. I know people got complaints, but of course they do. They make stuff up in their head. They heard a word that they currently don't like, a buzzword, not really realizing that the scene was making fun of the whole buzzword premise. Oh, Donna gave a lecture to the Doctor. Yeah, you ever watch the Donna Noble seasons of Doctor Who? That's what she always did. Now, is it Jared or is it Gerard? I like both. Could just call you J-Rod. I just wanted to say thank you for all the work you do for us. Happy holidays to you and your family, and to all here as well. Now, smoke up, Johnny. Smoke up, Johnny. Love it. Yeah, I never go into something watching a TV show, something there to sell Tide. Go in there expecting a show to change my life. Like I did, you know, you look back on your childhood and there were shows that changed you, that you just love so much. That just doesn't happen anymore. Why? Because we're older. I just don't go into shows expecting much. After I'm done watching a show, if I could finish a show, I say, hey, that was an okay time for 2 hours. I spent 2 hours. I had a fun adventure. I don't think much too far beyond that, unless it really has something to think about. But man, I got other stuff. When it comes to using your energy to complain about stuff, I'm complaining about how the price of everything is too damn high. We're all going to be homeless. You know what the future is going to be like on Earth? The Expanse. That's the most realistic view of what the future will be like. I love utopian sci-fi because I know it's never going to happen, but isn't it a nice thing to pretend that it's possible even though it's not? That's what makes it so good. Kroom says, I thought you said pathetic genius. Yeah, that is easy. That is easy to mix up. I know I didn't say pathetic genius, but I do have to be careful because I can easily mix those two words together. Pathetic genius. What would a pathetic genius be? Name one. There's got to be one out there. Elon Musk, a pathetic genius. Ooh, you know what? I want that too. Robin says, I read that Jonathan Frakes wants to be in front of the camera in a season 4. I want him to be in Frakes. Number 1 from TNG, Riker. He directed 2 great episodes of The Orville. In season 1, he directed Priya. In season 2, he directed Sanctuary. In season 3, he directed nothing, even though he said that he wished he could direct in season 3. Because in season 3, they were trying something new. Only Seth and John Cassar were allowed to direct, which, you know, made sense because then you don't have to catch anybody up and you can just keep going. Plus, it was weird because the way they were filming was kind of a cross-stitch style, crossboarding style, where they're filming, you know, in any one day, they could be filming things that take place in 3 different episodes. Just because they have the sets, they have the lights. They're like, let's film a few different types of scenes today from different episodes. Very hard to do to have guest directors come in to try to tackle that. So it made sense to have just Seth and John, who understands the entire arc, to do all the directing. But yes, I don't care if Jonathan Frakes directs, but I do care if he's on the show, just like Marina Sirtis. Counselor Troy had a guest spot, I believe, in the Sanctuary episode. Jonathan Frakes directed that episode. They had the character. They had not cast the character of the school teacher yet. And Jonathan says, oh, this would be perfect for Marina. He suggested Marina to Seth. Seth's like, yes, call her up. See if she's willing to do it. Of course she was. So she came in, was on the show. I hope we see her again. There's no reason we can't see Marina Sirtis on the Orville again. John Smith, and this is on what again? Could use that info for research. I don't know what that refers to. Roberta Laverty, I love how Seth's enthusiasm and excitement for each new project is infectious. Yes, also, you know, the Tedverse is something he created. He's thought a lot about over the years and decades, I'm sure. And he needs a palate cleanser. Everyone on the Orville needs a palate cleanser after spending 3 years, as Jay Lee told me, going over a mountain to get season 3 finished. they all need to jump into something different. I like how a lot of them jumped into the Ted series. Penny Johnson Gerald's, you're going to see her, of course, Scott Grimes, Georgia Wiggum. What's the kid's name? Max Birkland or Burke something, maybe, I can't remember. But yeah, everyone on the show needs to go out and do something, and then come back for season 4 of the Orville when it gets when they get the offer. Now, will Adrian Palicki accept the offer to play Kelly Grayson again? It kind of feels like in her mind she thinks no, but she probably wants to go off and do a bunch of other things and build her career to a huge Tom Cruise crescendo. Who knows? But I bet you when the offer comes in and she got nothing else going on as big, she's like, yes, bring me on, please. I do like she gave the idea of having a holding fee, which doesn't make sense for the COVID situation. No one's getting a holding fee during COVID. What are you going to do? Work on another show that doesn't exist because nobody's working right now? We're just going to give you money for the sake of giving you money. But I do like the idea of having of releasing actors from their schedule, from their contracts between seasons. Maybe they should have a time limited release between seasons so actors can go and do other things. Though Jay Lee went off between seasons and made Atypical Wednesday. You know, he directed it, starred in it, produced it, did probably a lot more than that on the film, and he didn't seem to have a problem. So I don't know. I think you could probably still go and do stuff. But yeah, having a time limited release, I think would be very fair. Curtis Tate, I have to disagree with you about Doctor Who. Well, we're all different. We all have our different opinions. We all get different things out of the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't let it drag you down. Find something that lifts you up. Archmage, the episode offended me. As a 36-year-old man, I felt very attacked about my suit-wearing abilities. I have no suit-wearing abilities. I can't wear one. I refuse. Yes, the Orville always has stuff to think about in a good way. And Seth has said this. He goes, he likes putting things into the Orville that doesn't have an answer. You don't know exactly what's right or what's wrong. It's going to be different to everyone with a different point of view. He just wants to raise the question. And, you know, just like with in the first Krill episode. Yeah, Ed saved some people, but he also killed a bunch of Krill who have families, and the children that he saved saw him kill everyone, all the rest of the crew. They're not going to like that. They're not going to see the difference. I didn't mean them any harm. What did she say? They didn't mean me any harm. Well, after what they saw you do, they will, or there will be, something like that. I can't remember the exact words, but they leave it open. We didn't know what the result was going to be for Isaac. How long was it going to take Claire to come back, to even accept him? We didn't get an answer for a while. We had to wait. A lot of people don't like to wait. If they have to wait, they get angry. But that's storytelling. You don't get the end of the book at the beginning of the book. You got to read the whole book. Gerard. Awesome, Gerard. Nikola Tesla. Patrick, what's up? Patrick UPD. If we got Curtis back as the school teacher, could we get Frakes as a school administrator? That would be fun to have the two of them technically work together. Does the Orville... I guess the Orville wouldn't have a school administrator, but there would be an administrator probably back at the Union on Earth, right? That has to deal with all these school teacher, all these schools on these different ships, right? There's over 3,000 ships. Well, when the Orville started in the pilot episode, there was 3,000 ships. But a couple seasons later, especially after learning that they have to fight against the Kalon to try to survive, I bet you there's a lot more ships in the fleet than there used to be. Naked attraction. Gerard says, and I say that only because of the way he was treated and discarded and cornholed. Who got cornholed? Somebody's going around cornholing people. Bertold talking about Max. I think it's Max, right? Max's name, the kid who plays John. Which, you know, let's watch this other trailer. Okay, in case you don't know, you didn't watch my video that I posted the other day. John Bennett, the kid who's playing the Marky Mark role in the Ted series, played Tomlin in season 1, episode 4 of the Orville, If the Stars Should Appear. So you're going to recognize him, I would think. He's a very recognizable kid. Let's watch the second trailer for Ted.
Susan, just say it once.
Nope.
Just one time.
She's not gonna do it.
Come on, we got a bet going.
What's the bet?
Oh, that Ted can get Mom to swear.
Just eat your supper, fellas.
You? Wait, you're not wearing pants. Where'd you get this?
Don't you worry about it.
Ooh, you just wash your hands?
Yeah, I have diarrhea.
Hi, I'm Ted. Nice costume!
The two of you might not be total screw-ups.
I'm gonna need your parents' phone numbers.
My parents are out of town.
I don't have parents on account of I'm a teddy bear that came alive.
I don't have parents on account that I'm a teddy bear that came alive. That's hilarious, you guys. You see John trying to steal a Sega Genesis. Man, I remember the Sega Genesis days. I can't remember what a Sega Genesis cost. I'm guessing, I don't know, 150, 250 bucks maybe. But I am super psyched for the Ted series. What's up, the brown guy? Hi, JP. Hope all is well. Showcase is a cable channel in Canada. Yes, Showcase and was it Slack TV? Yeah, you already got the Showcase. Gerard says, I got kissed by Marina Sirtis. First off, I haven't read the rest of the sentence yet, but hooray! Hooray for you! Now, where was that? I got kissed by Marina Sirtis several times. LOL, got pics to prove it. If you give me a few hours, I can get you some Photoshop pics of me getting kissed by Marina Sirtis too. No, congratulations. She seems like a lovely lady. I think I can hang. I don't know if I can hang. Like if we're at a bar, she could probably drink me under the table. But I don't know. I'm pretty good at drinking. And but she just seems like a good hang. Hooray for Ted. DJ129, if Kelly isn't going to be in the Orville, would she be recast or will they send her off? I don't think they would recast. I don't think they would do that. But I would hope they would send her off, but they don't have to. I've already written it in my head. Now I still think she would just return. You're not going to turn down work. Good work on a good show that's going to give you a year or more of solid acting work. Yeah, the Orville's not like other shows where you get a streaming show and it's only a couple of months of work and then nothing forever. The Orville, you get a lot of work out of it, even though it's 10 episodes, but those episodes were movies, mini movies. That's a lot of work. Also, the runtime for New Horizons is the same for season 2, and season 2 had 14 episodes. It's all about, people not looking at the big picture. I'm a big picture guy. Big picture is there's a lot more Orville in season 3 than people give it credit for. Yes, Frakes could be the new chef. Though being the new chef didn't work out so well for Trip Tucker when Frakes decided to be the new chef. Okay, Archimasia's got it. Frakes will play a school admin named Wesley. And when he calls Marina to reprimand her, she says, "Shut up, Wesley." Shut up, Wesley. Hope she says it like that. Do a Picard impersonation. Mr. Tommy Pickles, if I got a kiss from Marina Sirtis, then my life would be complete. I could die in peace to the very next, the very next moment. Kiss me once. Kiss me twice. Kiss me deadly. If I Genesis was around 150 to 199. I guess that's fair. I mean, that was a long time ago. That was a long, long time ago. They don't cost that much more when you account for inflation nowadays than they did back in the day. It might have been too expensive back in the day by comparison. Though I'm not a math doctor, so don't ask me. Nikola Tesla, pathetic genius. Yeah, nobody wanted to touch his Tesla, did they? Or he didn't allow anybody. Or Nikola Tesla. She said, there just weren't fireworks. It's because there was electricity. Which do you prefer in a relationship? Fireworks, sparks, electricity. Bring back Alara. Halston Sage's show is canceled. Yeah, you can bring her back. Though it'd be weird to have two Salayans, right? I love her back as a guest. I do want more than what we've gotten from her character over the last, ever since she left in the beginning of season 2. Just a little bit more, like a full adventure for an episode. I very much want to see, I've said this many times, Tala and Alara team up on a mission together. A mission with a lot of fighting, a lot of fisticuffs. I want to see Salayans tear apart some fools. Brian says, do you think you will ever in your lifetime visit Canada? It is on the list. I just don't have a list that's viable because I'm poor all the time. But I'd love to see Canada. Which tourist area would you recommend? Because, you know, there's like Toronto, there's Vancouver. Winnipeg's in Canada, isn't it? I mean, I don't know much about it. Which do you suggest would be a good place to visit in Canada? Yes, Robert. JP, have you seen or heard Michael Ronberg's Inside You podcast? I'm guessing you're talking about. Yes. Would you like to see it? I have it queued up if you want to see the clip, the very brief time. It's not very long at all that oh gosh, Adrian Palicki was on the Inside of You podcast talking about the Orville, and she just had some very disgruntled, seems to be very much her point of view, things to say about the Orville that I think's really going to bite her in the butt. And I posted a video about it on the Patreon page, which is where I'm posting the more insightful type videos. Anything I spend time, because I don't have a lot of time, spend time editing a video, that's going to be put on YouTube, even though YouTube don't deserve it. YouTube demonetizing me. I have no way to support me and my family. Stupid YouTube, dumb robots. I posted a video talking about it, watching it and talking about it. And a lot of you that are supporters of this, of EGOTASTIC FUNTIME on Patreon, had some interesting stuff to say. Let's go ahead. No, let's watch the video first, and then we'll go to what some of you guys were saying over on Patreon. The video, cue it up. I will cue it up. Don't you think I won't? The betrayal of Adrian Palicki towards the Orville. Let's talk about it.
Now, you've done all these shows, and you're doing one now, and it's, it has to deal with space and a ship.
No longer doing that.
That got canceled?
We only did 3 seasons.
Is it not going anymore?
I don't know truly the answer to that. I think that there's the talk that it could possibly be something that certain people want to do.
Yeah, people want to do it. She just said it right there. Confirmed.
But it's a really difficult show to shoot, man.
It is.
We shot 33 episodes in 6 years.
33 episodes in 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
How is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you.
That's 33 divided by 6 is 5.2 episodes a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she didn't allow for context here. She let him build a scenario in his head, which he should have known better as well. Like they're doing 5.2 episodes a year. Not true. The truth is, the first year they filmed 13 episodes, released 12. Season 2, the next year, they filmed 13 episodes, released 14. And then season 3, of course, it took a little while to get season 3 started because they were doing the whole changing it to Hulu, Disney Plus stuff, getting that all figured out. They started filming, and then the world collapsed because of COVID. He knows that. She knows that. But he went off on a weird tirade without context, and she let him. And she also seems to be kind of upset about her experience on the Orville, which is really sad because I know the other actors loved it and they can't wait to get back. But let's continue.
Is it expensive?
Mm-hmm.
Very
okay,
expensive.
so you're getting paid the same as an actor. So if you're only doing 5 episodes, it's not really worth your time.
You're not just doing 5
it
episodes.
became an actual real issue because there would be so much time in between seasons because Seth wanted to write everything.
Oh no.
Himself. So it would just take so much time. And at one point we were like, we have to fight the studio to give us a holding fee or something because, Jay Lee was eating saltines and Gatorade at one point because.
Okay. That comment, of course, that's for Jay Lee to talk about. She's bringing him in as an example to further whatever her agenda is, which she's not going too far into things. I agree. There was a lot of time between seasons. Not so much season 1 and season 2, but season 2, season 3. There was a little bit extra time between season 1 and season 2. Just to get it all written out and stuff like that. That's fair. Having a holding fee is fair. I do like the idea of a temporary release from contract so you can go do a couple gigs if you can get them. The whole Jay Lee thing, we talked about that. He talked about this. He said he put all of his Orville money into making his own movie. He spent all of his money to make Atypical Wednesday, which I am sure he agrees was a very good idea. You got to take those risks. Big risk, big rewards. Check out Atypical Wednesday. That's for Jay Lee to talk about, not for her to talk about and bring it into this other scenario to make people worry.
We just couldn't afford anything. It was horrible.
Wow. I had no idea.
Wait, so you play hockey.
Yeah.
Did you ever play?
Okay, so then she rightfully changes the subject, which she should. I think people are mad at her. I think she's well, I think her point of view might be a little skewed, but she has her own experiences, and all of our experiences build up into our minds to become whatever our minds make them become. Ain't that right, Avis? Avis says, yup. You know what I mean, says Avis. So I think people are mad at her. I think this conversation might bite her in the butt. Last year, she did a podcast, and she did something like this again. She's probably even more disgruntled back then because, a little bit of time has passed at this point. She's been released from her contract for a long while now. She could go get some work. We'll see. And, but you think that make her happy? We'll see. But But last year she was on a podcast and she said the Orville was canceled, and that turned out not to be true. So, and there's the whole, I don't know much about it, and I'm not going to trust one person's point of view of it, their recollection of it. But the whole Scott Grimes and her marriage thing was kind of weird. They got married just out of the blue, way too soon from what a lot of us would think. And then just a couple months later, she went and filed for divorce. And then all of a sudden she changed her mind, no divorce, but then she changed her mind again, like another month or two later, and they got the divorce. I don't know Adrienne Palicki. And in the video that I posted, I said, I don't want to accuse her of any type of anything because that's not fair. And I think we should be nice to her. But also, it's okay to be a little bit mad if it teases you off. But some of you guys had some great stuff to say over on Patreon. Archmage, who's here right now, said, I don't blame her for feeling a bit frustrated, but part of it seems like the nature of current TV that we've discussed, being stuck to a show that only makes a few episodes, etc. I kind of feel that, but also with the Orville, I know they're working a lot for a long time compared to these other shows. But yeah, there's a lot of time because the Orville's not just a regular TV show. It's like an event. It's a special thing. It takes a while to between seasons to get it going. And I have said over the years, I think it would be great now that Seth has trained up the crew and the cast to really feel the same way about the Orville that he feels, to let the writing staff do a little bit more, let other people do a little bit more, let go of the reins a little bit so that we can get stuff a little bit faster because there's a whole team there. So I get that too. I wonder if part of her opinion, says Archmage, is colored by past events with other shows, i.e. she left Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the intention of getting her own spinoff, which was never made. She starred in a Wonder Woman pilot that never got picked up. She may just have trouble dealing with shows that keep things up in the air because of PTSD, maybe? Meanwhile, a Ted trailer just dropped. Yes, it did. Yeah, there's a lot to break down there, but it's all assumptions. And you guys know I don't like assumptions, even when I have them, unless it's like a regular legit thing. But making assumptions about people's life, I don't know. She's had a lot of, this is going to be great, and it didn't work out in her career. The Orville's great. It did work out, but there was a lot of time in between. I can see the frustration from that, but also, if she's bringing in a bad attitude, even if she's not acting out or anything, if someone has a bad attitude or a bad opinion on something, they're working on a show or whatever, it's going to show. So maybe she's not being kept in the loop as much as some of the other actors about the goings on of the series, because maybe they can tell there's something not right with her opinion, like something's negatives going on. So maybe she's not being included as much, and that can be frustrating as well. April says, Ted trailer is awesome. The whole interview seems like Adrienne is done, not everyone else. Everyone else seems to be gung-ho about making more Orville, and they can't wait. And I think it seems, and I felt this with last year's podcast debacle, I should say. I feel that Adrienne feels she's done, but that doesn't mean that's true. When the offer comes in, what will she do? We all like to think we know what we're going to do, but then when the situation is actually happening, what do we do? I think if she's being offered work and she doesn't have any work, she's going to want to rejoin. Randall, very thoughtful here. We have to remember that no matter what, people can sometimes see the golden goose as a hindrance versus a wonderful thing. See Leonard Nimoy. Now, Leonard came to his senses after years and knew, this venue could be a wonderful thing in my life, but I won't let it define me. Maybe Adrienne just feels she has done enough, which is fine, of course, but don't be negative about a product that gives so many millions of fans great entertainment. Plus, it employs a lot of people both in front of the camera and behind the camera, a lot, like 300 with the Orville. I think it's perfectly fine if she does not want to do more, but she should help the show move on from her character. Of course, talking out of context is not a cool thing. JP. Want to thank you for all your hard work, and please never give up. Never surrender, I say. The Orville will be around in our libraries forever. And I am pretty damn sure we're also going to have more Orville in our libraries at some point. Not anytime soon. We got TED series coming. Let's see. We got more here. There's one I really wanted to check out. And then we also got some conversations within conversations in that conversation. Robin says maybe she had a bad day. I've seen video of 2023 panels at cons, and she was completely different. Jay Lee denied the saltines and crackers starvation thing. I mean, I asked him today on Twitter. He answered it. Let's see. There's another one here. Oh, Robin also says, I really like this comment. It's a sci-fi Trek style show. That means she can make money for the rest of her life at conventions. If at some point the acting gigs dry up. Eventually they do. In this special genre, one has employment for life. But if you tick off your fans, not so much. So to say it was horrible, she did say that, is, and I won't use Sethese, a foolish move. Seth usually uses different language, but still English. I'm not going to say that. President Nixon's first name, short version, Dick. Tricky Dick. Lots of great conversations and conversations within conversations on that video post on the Patreon page. So all you patrons who are tuning in to the EGOTASTIC videos coming up on the Patreon page and offering such great insight and thoughts on what's going on. Thank you very much. Link is in the description of this video if you want to join the EGOTASTIC fun time there. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the live chat. Arkmage says, yeah, I can't see a full production of the Orville being ready to go and having her say no. Her main concern seemed to be not having work. Yeah, but there was a worldwide pandemic. Nobody had work. You're not alone. Just know that, Adrian. You're not alone. The world was shut down. It sucked. People were putting up Zoom call content on primetime television. I couldn't stand it. I hated it. The only show that I thought did a good job with pandemic filming was there was a 30 Rock special, which I thought they did a pretty good job. Throat's getting dried. Robin says, Alara is working for the Union implementing tactical on Saleya. That's right. She's kind of doing some training. Maybe we need her to train up some people. What if the Krill and the Mocklins attack that Union tactical defense building, and we need to go visit, and boom, there's Alara, and she's going to help us on this one. That would be great. Such a great storyline. Fans would love it. Tom Pickle says, I heard British Columbia is beautiful and friendly. Archmage Frey, I think Alara could work in a spinoff. Having rewatched season 1 of The Orville, she and Newton had a bit of a non-romantic relationship building, so throw them in the DS9 allegory. Yeah, they had Newton was kind of taking on a mentor type of role with her, but she also had to bite back a little bit because he was treating her a little bit like, you know, hey kid, this and that, calling her kid, or, you know, didn't mean anything by it. Is probably a term of endearment, but she said, hey, you know what? I'm a damn grown woman. I'm 24. Thank you very much. And I'm really strong too. Yeah, that'd be great. Now, do keep in mind, Disney had Seth. Well, they didn't have him do it. They suggested it to him, and I think it's a great idea to do the subtitle on the Orville, call it New Horizons. That way, when they do go further and have spin-offs for the next couple decades, because of course they're going to do that because the show is ripe for renewal. New Horizons will be the name of the series. New Horizons, Deep Space Nine, or whatever they want to call their shows. So I think going forward, the Orville will just be New Horizons, the Orville, but we'll see. It's OG, so they probably might just keep it because it's OG. Star Trek isn't called TOS Star Trek or Star Trek, the original series, except for like in a fandom type of way when you're talking about different shows. It's just called Star Trek. So Disney was thinking ahead. Archimage Freight, this sounded more like the type of chat you have with a friend kind of venting about things, not the type you have professionally and be fact-checked on. Oh, we're checking them facts. We checking them facts, Adrian. Yeah, I mean, that's what podcasts are. You know, you had two actors. They know the game, but they kind of got lost in the whole... They kind of got lost a little bit. They forgot they're supposed to be representatives of whatever they're working on. Unless a decade's gone by, then go ahead and say your piece. But the fandom's going to be is going to be very upset. But of course, there's going to be there already is all the clickbaiters picking up on it. The Orville's canceled. Where are you getting that from? She literally said people are talking about doing more. Yep. And that's one thing that drives me nuts. You have to be careful because the internet ruins everything. There's no nuance, no nothing. Everything's a yay or a nay, and usually a nay because the nay gets the clicks. I very much have come to dislike the internet as a whole, as an entity of its own. This is no way to run a show, regardless of COVID. She is right. I don't understand. I mean, no way to run a show. The world was shut down. There was no Hollywood for a year and a half. There was nothing for her to do. So really, season 3 took a year and a half. Not so bad. Seems about right. And I do know, because Tom said it, that when COVID hit, Seth did his best to keep people paid for a lot longer than other studios were doing. But I do think if it's going to be long intervals between seasons, there should be some sort of either a holding fee. But I think the fairest thing is a time limited release from contract. Get out there and make some money, and then come back around this time ish. But plenty of time to go do a guest spot somewhere. Yeah, say that in public was kind of nuts. That's not good for her career in general. Well, I think maybe in her mind she's done, so she's not trying to promote. She's not in promotion mode. But she may think she knows, just like she thought she wanted to get married. She thought she wanted to get a divorce. You have to wait. You have to wait. Because when the offer comes, I think she's going to take it. People have to start speaking out like Elon did to Disney. Yeah, Elon said something about Disney. Isn't he not allowing advertising or something on X? I hate calling it X. I just want to call it Twitter. Let me call it Twitter, Elon. We need to give the manatees more Orville balls ID. Sacrifice some Family Guy balls if necessary to make room in the tank. Yeah, I don't think Family Guy takes up too much of Seth's time. I think he's mostly just coming in to do voices, and everyone else. He gave over the reins from the Orville for the Orville like a decade ago. But of course, he still does the voices, and I'm sure he still has some say. but mostly the Family Guy. Did I say Family Guy or did I say Orville? Family Guy. I can't remember what I said. He gave the reins to Family Guy to them like 10 years ago, or however long it was. I don't have the exact facts, but yeah, he's doing voices. But that's easy. They got everything scripted out. Come in, you can do a few episodes a day, probably a couple weekends, over a month. Boom, done. Archmage Frey. I think at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that the real villain is Kathleen Kennedy. Sigh, that joke works less now that South Park did it. Yeah, that South Park episode making the whole Kathleen Kennedy thing into a thing. That was real funny, real meta too. I loved it. Brian Dawkins says, "I live in Ontario." That's what I believe Brian Dawkins sounds like. "I live in Ontario. The area between Niagara Falls and Ottawa is very nice. Toronto is biggest city in Canada with about 3 million people." I'm sorry if you don't sound like that, Brian. I'll just, my mind goes places, and it goes there very quickly. Nice. Yeah, I'd love to see Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls. Adrian Palicki played Queen Catherine, the smart and seductive Queen of France in the film Quasi. That is on Hulu. It's been on Hulu since April 29-23. That's Priya's era. No, 2023. I see it. Yes, Archmage Frey, that's a great point, especially since the Orville people are getting invited to Trek conventions. So it isn't just regular cons. No, they're getting the big guns. At the last Star Trek Las Vegas big old convention, SuperCon, yeah, there was a whole Orville thing going on over there. And then eventually, hopefully, Orville takes over the entire thing. And it's just called Orville Star Trek. No, called Orville Las Vegas. There you go. Orville Las Vegas 2036. You guys going? That was her posted work, playing the Queen. Yeah, she could probably go out there and get some roles. I haven't really seen much, but theoretically, she could go out there and get some roles. But yeah, if you don't need an actor again for another year and a half, you don't want to pay them because they're not doing nothing for a year and a half. Say, okay, you're released from your contract. Go make your money, boo. And then we'll be doing some more work here in a year or so. And if you want to come back, come on back. We'd love to have you. But if not, a couple changes on a page, boom. That's the thing. Nobody on the Orville is mandatory. I mean, I love to keep everybody, but no one is mandatory. You can even get rid of Ed. I don't want to, but you could. You just write a good story about it, and then everyone moves on and have some more adventures. Everyone will keep going along. Elon does say a lot of things. I do have to say. Sometimes Elon says something, I'm like, I see where you're going there. Okay, I can see that. And sometimes he says things, I'm like, don't talk anymore. But I never, and you got lots of people online doing that. And I never, unless it becomes just a whole steady stream of saying stuff I don't like, I never cut people off. I'm like, oh, that's just the point of view they had that day. That was the type of day they had. As people, we are in the gray. We are not black or white. Well, racially, I guess some people say we are. But no, there's gray bits everywhere. making a reference to South Park's Family Guy parody. Remember, I know I've seen that. I don't remember much about it. I remember when South Park did, The Simpsons did it. No matter what idea they came up with, Simpsons did it. She may leave and return later, like Gates McFadden in TNG. Absolutely. And even Denise Crosby. She didn't come back as Tasha, but she came back a bunch of times, didn't she? Don't you think think Orville has a niche audience? Ted is more mainstream. Yes, I think Orville's can be considered more niche. Ted is, you grab a lot of different types of people with Ted because it's comedy. You're already going to reach more people with just hardcore comedy. 99% of all people on this planet throughout time have always had an affinity for teddy bears. Both the Orville, yes, spacefaring, flying around in space isn't as big of a genre that people are attracted to as people think. Smart brain stories on the Orville, even though there's some silliness, there's a lot of smart brainness going on. That's going to turn some people off, or just not capture them. But I do know that anyone that's allowed themselves to watch the Orville with an open mind always end up loving it more than anything else. DJ129, animation has been solid this year. Haven't seen much Family Guy, but not heard anything bad. New Rick and Morty voices, South Park and Aqua Teen Hunger Force. LOL. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. South Park. I've been loving South Park. Very smart social commentary while also being crazy. Just crazy. So I've been loving South Park, but they do specials now. They haven't really been doing like a season. The last season they did a year or two ago was like, what, 6 episodes? And then a whole bunch of specials happened. It's a holiday special. Yeah, Ted is more mainstream, but also Ted is huge. I never realized till I looked it up a few months ago. Ted, big, huge moneymaker worldwide. We need an Orville animated series. Maybe that would be bizarre. I would enjoy it. If the stories are still the stories, I would the same type of stories I would very much enjoy. Animated Orville. Now the Orville comic books, which is a whole different type of genre, the stories were still the same types of stories. The humor was the same type of humor. So I very much enjoy the comic books, and I don't really read comic books anymore. But I read the Orville comic books, and I really felt like I was watching an episode. Sometimes I remember certain things from the comic books as if they were a live action. In my head, I remember them as a live action scenes, a situation, but they weren't. They were on the page, hand drawn. Damn YouTube and its notification alerts. What's up, Bellehu? Almost prevented Thunder Buddies for connecting. I know YouTube is, damn the YouTubes. And you hear me, YouTube. I know you're listening in, demonetizing my channel the second time this year. I've only made half a year worth of wages from YouTube. You know what you've done to me, YouTube? How am I going to make it all the way till the end of February? I'm assuming I'll be able to get remonetized at the end of January, but then you got to wait a month to get whatever your ad revenue is. So the end of February, I just got to last till the end of February. Don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to give it my all. Do you think Seth will move the Orville to Peacock? I'm sure he would love to do that. I don't know if he just has the power to do that because there are contracts, there are ownership rights, this and that. Disney owns the Orville. So it would have to be up to Disney, I think. So I don't know. I would love it. Though I think Disney is a big to-do worldwide. You don't have to go to multiple different services. You don't have to find other services around the world internationally that carry the show you want to watch. If it's on Disney, it's just on Disney because Disney is worldwide. Disney worldwide. I would love it if it went to Peacock. Great for me, but I got to think of the whole fandom. And I think Disney Plus is just easier for everybody. But I would love it. And I'm sure he would love it because he works for Peacock. That's where he's at right now. Working. He's got an office over there. You wanted to ask Orville questions. We don't talk about the Orville here. This is all about Ted. No, of course. Orville questions, Ted questions, streaming service questions, whatever you got. Gerard says, thank you again, and to all, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Yes, that reminds me, I really need to figure out exactly what's the Christmas song I want to do for the Orville this year. I'm running out of time. And when I start running out of time and I think of all the things that have to be done to do a song, which isn't really that bad, but in my mind it is, I start talking myself out of it. I'm like, I don't have time to do this. But no, I need to figure it out. I mean, doing the 12 Days of Christmas again is easy, but I want to do something different. In new horizons, the Orville gave to me. Too easy. There was no Orville cast members at Fan Expo San Francisco a few days ago. Oh, that's too bad. Because even if they never made another Orville anything, which I don't think is true at all, but even if we lived in some multiverse world where there was no more Orville, but they had just the 3 seasons, they would still be able to have the cast of the Orville attend every single convention for the rest of their lives. So that's sad that no one was able to make it to San Francisco. Maybe there was a production meeting for a 4th season. Merry Christmas, Gerard. And a Happy New Year's too. Curtis says, I just finished the Elon biography. He's an interesting dude for sure. Yeah, I've seen a little bits here and there of the life and times of Elon Musk, on different TV shows, whatever. Very interesting. I believe he's autistic, right? I think. I'm not throwing accusations around. Not that that should be considered an accusation. If you're autistic, cool beans, nothing wrong with that. Who says, did you see the cool animation when you click the thumbs up icon? You didn't? You should. There is, isn't there? I saw a video talking about YouTube adding that. Let me see if it works for me. I don't know if I have the ability to do such a thing. I don't. I'd have to turn on the stream and then all of a sudden that video will be blaring and then I'll be hearing myself from 2 minutes ago talking. I'll just try it out on another EGOTASTIC video. But yes, when you click on subscribe, I think if just saying the word subscribe is supposed to make the subscribe button animate. Like and subscribe. Hopefully that made things animate. I don't know. I can't see it over on my end. YouTube's getting so fancy. Roberta says, I just don't think she wants to be involved anymore. I think there's something else going on. Sometimes it's okay to not be okay. Yeah, there's that too. And let's not forget the marriage between her and Scott. I know they're both lovely people. They love each other. They're professionals on set, all that stuff. But who knows what's going on? But there's hurt feelings there, of course. They got married and then they got divorced very quickly. and then they still have to see each other all the time. That's got to be weird. That's got to work on you a little bit. So maybe adding that to her experience of working, those feelings will help, is helping to kind of point at her heartstrings a little bit and kind of say, I'm hurting you a little bit. I'm hurting you a little bit every single day. And then that turns your thoughts over just a little bit every day. And then boom, all of a sudden negativity arises. Things can happen. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I can see where it could, but it's not my place to say. The Family Guy, okay, I do remember that, John Smith. The Family Guy writing staff were manatees that pushed balls around in a tank that became each joke. That's right, for the cutaway jokes. They just had, it's basically like a randomizer, just random things, and then they turned those random things into a cutaway joke. Yes, I do remember that. Boy, that was a while ago. I've watched so many things since then. That was very funny, though. When I first watched that, I almost took offense, but I was like, that's a good one. That's a good zinger. Because Family Guy cutaway jokes was the first show in my life of watching things where it was a new kind of joke, cutaway jokes. And they did them all the time on Family Guy, and they still do. I instantly fell in love with cutaway jokes. It's one of the first things that really made me respect Seth MacFarlane's writings. Manatees pushing balls around. Yeah, if she doesn't want to be involved anymore, for whatever reasons, I don't think the reasons are that there's a bad culture at the show. I don't think that's true at all. I think it has a very good culture at the show. But her experience has led her into a more negative viewpoint. And that's her experience. You can't deny her own experience. So it's sad. I'm sorry that she seems to feel that way. But she definitely seems like she doesn't want to do it anymore. But we'll see what happens. It's like, I don't want to mop this floor anymore. What if I gave you some money right now? Oh, okay, I'll keep mopping. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Disney has the distribution to the Orville. So I think, and Disney having big fancy IPs, which the Orville is definitely on the cusp of becoming as they keep doing more and more and more. Sci-fi genre is very important to Disney. Building a giant wall of impenetrable sci-fi series shows on the service, I know, is important to them. Once they get back on their feet, because all streaming services have been knocked on their asses this year, and they're all afraid to really spend any money. Once they get back on their feet, which they will, it's Disney. They're always going to get back on their feet. Then they'll feel more confident to say, all right, here's $1 billion. Go make 8 seasons of the Orville. We just got to wait. We got to wait it out. And I know as people, we don't like doing that. We want it now. It used to be, but this is America. I want it now. But eventually it became, but this is Earth. I want it now. Yeah, I'm talking to you, planet Earth. Gerard says, I think it's hackers and trolls that are the bad side of the internet. Oh, that it is. It is. As the internet is just a conduit, so don't kill the messenger, okay? Yeah, one problem with the social media internet is, yes, first you got the hackers and the trolls, this and that. But then you got the algorithms pushing normal people towards that content because it's inflammatory. It gets the clicks because people are like, huh? Fire? What's that? As humans, we're our minds go towards the danger because we want to be aware of all these things. And then they start clicking on these things and then they start getting infected with ideologies. and it happens all the time. I read a book that Seth MacFarlane recommended, the Chaos Machine, which is all about this. It goes all the way back to the beginning, day one of Facebook's creation, all the way to the dumpster fire that is the world today. It goes through the whole thing, factual examples and stories, factual stories that happen, and putting everything into context and seeing how one thing connects to another thing to show you how the computers and the algorithms have destroyed this simple little blue planet, this blue dot floating around in space, connected to nothing, to an ever expanding infinity. It's infinite, but it's expanding. The infinite's getting more infinite, and we're just a little blue dot trapped within it somewhere. And the computers did this to us. Too bad Sean Gunn lost his voice, but I did manage to make him laugh. Hey, all right. I like Sean Gunn. Yeah, Simpsons Did It is older. Yeah, I remember that. That was just the one I remembered. But now I do remember the manatees pushing balls around to get the cutaway jokes. Yes, the perfect Christmas gift, renewing the Orville for season 4. Maybe it'll be Christmas Day where we get the announcement. I don't know. I know they have something to tell us. Yes, Roberta, I too would love to see the Orville renewed for a 4th season. Oh, what time is it? My time is 2:12. I kind of have to get going back to work. Unless it's raining. I don't think it's raining anymore. But I have to get back on the road for another 3 hours. Hopefully make a few bucks. We'll see. Disney ruins everything. I'm to the point where I think the whole world ruins everything. The internet ruins everything. That I do know. I think Ted will get more detention than John when they make the teddy bear go to school. I think so too. Either that or they both will get put into detention together. Or John's not doing anything wrong, but Ted gets him in trouble, and then John has to get detention as well. Even though he's innocent, damn it. Brian Dawkins says, I'll be home for Christmas parody. There will be no new Orville for Christmas. On that, you can rely. I'll look forward to Orville, if only in my dreams. Who says, your anus? No, your anus. I like it when people say Uranus. No, Uranus. Who says, it'd be cool if Seth has a Carl Sagan look-alike visit the class in TED and try to give science explanations, and Ted keeps mocking him. Oh, that's right. Was Carl still around in 1993? I can't remember when he passed away. All I know is I miss him, damn it. Cosmos. Yeah, Uranus. Okay, I get you. Uranus. No, Uranus. 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 Gerard says, I was going to do some stuff, but can't seem to tear myself away. LOL. Robin says, lunchtime for me. Love you. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's probably time for me to go too, you guys. I got to get back on the road. Thank you so much for stopping in, talking about the new TED series. Can't wait. I am when I get time. I don't know when it's going to be. Time is hard right now. I'm going to redo the signage on the page to more reflect the TED series in the interim before, and then once we're done with the TED series, we're going right back to the Orville. Maybe I'll mash up TED, EGOTASTIC, FUNTIME, and the Orville all into one. That'd be fun as well and accurate because we're still always going to be talking about the Orville. There's things to talk about. He died in 1996, so he could be there. Carl Sagan. But all right, and if you want to help keep the lights on, we got until February. Both the Patreon and the PayPal are in the description below. This Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time on the EGOTASTIC FUNTIME Twitch channel. Free to follow. Just follow and join in on the fun. We're going to be doing a watch party of Masters of the Universe from the long, long ago when that movie was made. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I'm very excited for us to watch it together. Have some Mystery Science Theater 3000 jokes style going on when I watch something. I'm going to be making jokes the whole time about it. But I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you for your support. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for helping to keep the lights on. And I'll see you all very soon. And as always, remember, damn it, we all do better when we all do better. Love you. Bye-bye.